I never thought I would be that woman. You know the type. The one who falls for a guy who seems amazing at first, but slowly reveals himself to be someone completely different. The one who makes excuse after excuse for bad behavior. The one who convinces herself that things will get better if she just tries harder, loves more, does more. But there I was at 34 years old, living that exact nightmare in Portland, Oregon. My name is Rebecca Morrison, and this is the story of how I finally stood up for myself. Let me start at the beginning so you understand how I ended up in this mess. I worked as a medical office administrator at a busy clinic in downtown Portland. It was not the most glamorous job in the world, but I was good at it, really good at it. I managed schedules, handled insurance paperwork, dealt with difficult patients. I wore structured blazers to work, kept my appearance professional, and projected confidence even when I did not always feel it inside. But my personal life was a different story. I was a single mom to my teenage son Marcus, who was 15 at the time. Marcus had cerebral palsy. Marcus was incredible. He was smart, funny, and had more courage in his little finger than most people had in their entire bodies. But raising a child with special needs alone was exhausting. Between managing his medical appointments, his therapy sessions, his special education needs at school, and working full-time, I was stretched thin. Then I met Daniel Cooper. He was a construction worker, tall and broad-shouldered with a quick smile and an easy laugh. We met at a coffee shop near my office. He bumped into me accidentally, spilled my latte all over my blazer, and was so apologetic and charming that I could not help but laugh. He seemed like exactly what I needed. Someone stable, someone who could share the load, someone who could be a partner in every sense of the word. Those first few months were wonderful. Daniel was attentive and kind. He took an interest in Marcus, helped around my apartment, and made me feel like I was not alone anymore. After about a year of dating, Daniel moved into my apartment. It made sense financially and practically. Why pay two rents when we were spending every night together anyway? Then came the opportunity that changed everything. One of the doctors at my clinic mentioned that she was selling her house. It was a beautiful 3-bedroom home in a quiet neighborhood. The kind of place I had always dreamed of owning. A real yard for Marcus, a garage, a neighborhood with sidewalks and families, a place that felt like home. I was terrified but excited. Could I actually afford to buy a house? I had been saving money for years, squirreling away every extra penny I could manage. So I made an appointment with a mortgage broker at a local bank and brought in all my financial documents. Pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements, everything. Instead, Patricia smiled. She looked over my documents carefully and said something that shocked me. She said I could qualify. My credit score was exceptional. The Social Security disability benefits that Marcus received counted as household income. Between my salary and Marcus's benefits, I made enough to qualify for the mortgage. I left the bank in a daze. I called Daniel immediately to share the news. He was excited at first, congratulating me and saying how amazing it was. But then his tone changed. He asked if I was going to put his name on the deed too. I hesitated. I had not really thought about it. The down payment was coming entirely from my savings. Patricia pulled me aside and gave me advice I will never forget. She said, "Rebecca, do not put his name on that deed. This is your house. You earned it. Protect yourself." So I made the decision. I would keep the house in my name only. When I told Daniel, he was furious. I mean really angry in a way I had never seen before. He accused me of not trusting him, of treating him like he was not part of the family, of being selfish. He stormed out of the apartment and did not come home until late. We moved into the house a month later, and for a little while, things seemed okay. The house was beautiful. Marcus had his own room with enough space. But Daniel never really got over the deed situation. He would bring it up in arguments. He would make snide comments about how it was my house, not ours. Then his drinking started to increase. Daniel had always been a social drinker. But slowly, those few beers turned into more than a few. He started stopping at a bar called Murphy's on his way home from work. Just for one drink, he would say, but one drink turned into 2, then 3. Some nights he would not come home until 1 or 2 in the morning, stumbling through the door, smelling like beer and cigarettes. I tried to talk to him about it. I told him I was worried about his drinking, but Daniel would get defensive. He would say I was overreacting. Around the same time, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. For months, I had been feeling exhausted all the time. I would wake up tired, drag myself through the workday. Sleep became incredibly important to me. I needed at least 7 or 8 hours of solid sleep to function at work. My job required me to be sharp and organized. But Daniel started making that impossible. He would come home from Murphy's after closing time, around 2 in the morning, and he would not come in quietly. He would slam the front door, stomp through the house, turn on all the lights, and then he would come into our bedroom and deliberately wake me up. He would turn on the overhead light and ask if I was sleeping. He would turn on the stereo at full volume, blasting whatever music he was in the mood for. And then he would want to fight. He would start arguments about nothing. I would beg him to let me sleep, to please keep it down because I had to work in the morning. This went on for months. I was a walking zombie at work. I started making small mistakes, forgetting things, losing my patience with difficult patients. Marcus noticed too. He would hear the fighting in the middle of the night. One night Marcus said, "Mom, you do not deserve this. You work so hard." Hearing those words from my 15-year-old son broke something inside me. What kind of example was I setting? What was I teaching Marcus about relationships? I tried one more time to talk to Daniel when he was sober. I begged him to get help, to talk to someone, to show me that he cared enough to make changes. He promised he would. He said he understood, and for about a week he did. He came home at reasonable times. I started to hope that maybe we had turned a corner. But then it all fell apart again. One Friday night, Daniel went to Murphy's and did not come home until closing time. He stumbled in at 2 in the morning. He turned on every light in the house and cranked up the stereo in our bedroom to full volume. I woke up to AC/DC blasting through the speakers so loud the walls were vibrating. I grabbed my pillow and went to sleep on the couch. I laid there crying from frustration and exhaustion, knowing I had to be at work in 4 hours. That was the moment I decided I was done. Completely done. I could not sacrifice my health, my job, and my sanity for someone who clearly did not respect me. I talked to a therapist I had been seeing. I told her everything that had been happening. She said, "Rebecca, you need to set a boundary and enforce it." I left that therapy session feeling empowered, but also scared. How exactly was I supposed to remove Daniel from my house? I knew if I told him to leave, he would fight me on it. He would make it difficult and drawn out and miserable. I needed a different approach. That is when the idea came to me. It was a Saturday morning. Daniel had gone to Murphy's and had not come home all night. Marcus was in the living room playing video games. I walked in and sat down next to him. "I need your help with something," I said. "We are going to move Daniel out today, and we are going to have fun doing it." I explained my plan to Marcus and his eyes lit up. He started laughing before I even finished. "Mom," he said, "this is going to be legendary." We spent the next hour gathering supplies. I went into the bedroom and started pulling out all of his clothes from the closet and dresser. Everything. Then I pulled out the secret weapon. A huge white teddy bear I had bought years ago for Marcus. It was one of those giant stuffed animals, probably 4 feet tall. We took Daniel's work shirt and wrestled it onto the teddy bear. It fit surprisingly well. Then we put his work pants on the bear's legs. We put his work boots on the bear's feet. We found his favorite baseball cap and put it on the bear's head. Marcus took a black marker and drew a mustache on the bear's face. We stepped back and looked at our creation. "Oh my God," Marcus said, "it looks just like him." We both burst out laughing. It was perfect. We took garbage bags and started stuffing them with the rest of Daniel's belongings. Marcus joked that we were giving Daniel matching luggage. Black hefty bag luggage. When we had everything packed up, we carried it all out to the curb. The teddy bear Daniel went first. We sat him right on the edge of the lawn facing the street. Then we arranged the garbage bags around him. I gathered up all the empty beer cans and bottles. We stacked them around the teddy bear like a fortress. Then came the final touch. Marcus made a sign on poster board with a thick black marker, "Will work for beer." We attached it to a stick and planted it next to the teddy bear. We stood back and admired our work. It was absolutely perfect. Ridiculous and petty and completely perfect. Marcus high-fived me, and we both started laughing so hard. We went back inside, and I changed the locks on all the doors. I had bought new locks at the hardware store earlier. Daniel's keys would not work anymore. Then we waited. Sure enough, around 4 in the afternoon, I heard his truck pull up outside. Marcus and I looked at each other. Here we go. Daniel got out of his truck and stopped dead when he saw the curb display. He stood there for a long moment, just staring at the teddy bear version of himself. He walked up to the porch and tried his key in the front door. It did not work. He tried it again, still nothing. He started pounding on the door. I did not answer, I just watched through the window. He pounded for another minute, then pulled out his phone. My phone started ringing. I did not answer. Finally, he gave up on the door and went back to the curb. He started grabbing the garbage bags and throwing them in the back of his truck. But here is the best part. While Daniel was loading his stuff, people were driving by, and some of them were slowing down. A few even stopped. Someone had apparently already seen the curb display and had gone to Murphy's to tell everyone about it. By the time Daniel was loading his truck, people were taking pictures. One guy rolled down his window and yelled, "Nice teddy bear, Daniel." Someone else yelled, "We'll work for beer, that is perfect." Daniel was humiliated, absolutely humiliated. His drinking buddies were all seeing him at his lowest moment. They were seeing his stuff on the curb like trash. He tried to hurry, throwing bags in his truck as fast as he could, but people kept driving by. The teddy bear was the last thing he grabbed. He sped away. Marcus and I watched from the window, high-fiving and laughing. It was done. Daniel was gone, and the whole neighborhood knew exactly why. Later that evening, my phone started blowing up with calls and texts from Daniel. The voicemails became increasingly angry. He called me every name in the book. He said I had no right to kick him out. He said it was his house too. His house. The house I bought with my money, with my credit, with my income. I did not respond to any of it. I blocked his number and blocked him on all social media. I was done engaging. Daniel went back to Murphy's that night, probably to drown his sorrows. But the regulars at the bar did not give him the sympathy he was looking for. They had all seen the curb display. They knew the truth. So when Daniel tried to play the victim, the barflies shut him down. They all laughed at him. I went to see Dr. Chen, my therapist, the following week. I told her everything. The teddy bear, the garbage bags, the beer cans, the sign, the whole thing. Dr. Chen completely lost it. She laughed so hard she had tears running down her face. She said, "This is the absolute best breakup story I have ever heard." Hearing her say that made me feel validated. For so long, I had questioned myself. Was I being too harsh? But she confirmed I had done the right thing. The weeks after Daniel left were like breathing fresh air for the first time in months. I could sleep through the night. I could go to work feeling rested and focused. Marcus was happier, more relaxed. The house felt peaceful again. It felt like home. My thyroid medication started working better too. I did hear from Daniel one more time, about 2 weeks after I kicked him out. He sent me a long email, not angry this time, but sad and apologetic. He said he realized he had a drinking problem. He said he was going to get help. I read the email once and then deleted it. I did not respond. Maybe he was being genuine. Maybe he really was going to get help, but it was not my problem anymore. It was not my job to save him or fix him. I started putting more effort into taking care of myself. I joined a gym and started working out. I reconnected with friends I had been neglecting. I took Marcus on weekend trips to the coast and to the mountains. We made new memories in our house, good memories that replaced the bad ones. Work got better too. My boss noticed the change in me. She commented that I seemed lighter, more focused, more like my old self. I even got a raise and a promotion to senior medical office administrator. My boss said it was well-deserved and long overdue. I agreed. Marcus thrived too. Without the stress, he was sleeping better and doing better in school. His grades improved. He seemed happier and more confident. One night at dinner, Marcus said, "Mom, I am really proud of you. You showed me that it is okay to stand up for yourself. You taught me about self-respect." About 6 months later, I ran into someone from Murphy's at the grocery store. She said that stunt with the teddy bear was legendary. Everyone still talks about it. She said, "You are like a folk hero. We all thought it was hilarious and completely deserved." Daniel actually stopped coming to Murphy's after that. He could not show his face anymore. As time went on, I started thinking about dating again. The idea terrified me at first. What if I fell into the same pattern? What if I ignored red flags again? But I was not the same person I was when I met Daniel. I was stronger now, more aware of my worth, more willing to set boundaries. I did eventually start dating someone new about a year later. His name was Michael, and he was a nurse. He was kind, respectful, and had his life together. He and Marcus got along well. Michael would come over for dinner and play video games with Marcus. He respected my boundaries and my need for sleep. He never pushed to move in or to be added to my house deed. He understood that my house was important to me, that it represented my independence. Michael and I have been together for 2 years now. We are taking things slow. He has his own apartment, and I have my house. We spend time together, but also have our own space. Looking back on the whole situation with Daniel, I have no regrets. None. That teddy bear moment was my declaration of independence. It was me saying, "I will not be disrespected in my own home." It was me choosing myself and my son over someone who was dragging us both down. I learned that you cannot save someone who does not want to be saved. I learned that love is not enough if there is no respect. I learned that setting boundaries is not mean or selfish. It is necessary for self-preservation. Sometimes you have to make hard choices to protect your peace. Marcus learned important lessons too. He learned that you do not have to tolerate mistreatment just because someone claims to love you. The teddy bear incident has become kind of legendary in our family and friend circles. People ask me to tell the story at parties. They laugh and applaud. Some people think it was harsh or over the top, but I disagree. It was exactly what needed to happen. Daniel was not responding to conversations or boundaries. So here is my advice to anyone in a similar situation. If you are with someone who is disrespecting you, who is harming you, you need to get out. I know it is scary, I know it is hard, but you have to put yourself first. You have to protect your peace, your health, your home, and your family. And when you do leave, do it in a way that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Be clear, be firm, and if you can, do it with a smile. You deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to sleep through the night. You deserve to have your hard work recognized and valued. I am happy now, really, truly happy. I have my house that I earned. I have my son who is growing into an incredible young man. I have a job I am good at. I have a healthy relationship. And I have a story about a teddy bear that will make me laugh for the rest of my life. So if you find yourself being mistreated in your own home, remember Rebecca and the teddy bear. Remember that you have the power to change your situation. Take care of yourself first. Set boundaries and enforce them. Do not be afraid to be creative in how you handle difficult situations. And never let anyone make you feel small in your own home. You bought that house. You earned that peace. You deserve that respect. That is my story. That teddy bear is still in my garage, packed away in a box. A reminder of the day we took back our home and our lives. A reminder that we are stronger than we thought. A reminder that sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. And honestly, I hope I never have to use it again. But if I do, I know exactly where it is. And just like that, the story of today comes to a close. Every chapter has its ending, and this one was written just for you, because great stories deserve to be shared. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so the next chapter finds you before anyone else.